Hi, Robert R. Church, fourth graders. It's Miss Wilson again, coming to you with another math video. Today, we're going to be decomposing fractions. So before we get started, we have to remember, what does the vocabulary word decompose mean? In math, it means to break apart. So we're going to be breaking apart fractions. So there's a couple of strategies we're going to use. Our first strategy is to break the fraction into unit fractions. Now, unit fractions mean that we're going to break it down to the smallest unit. So if I have a tape diagram and I break it into a fraction, so we can look at this tape diagram. Remember, my denominator is how many pieces I have total. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my denominator, which is my bottom number, will be 5 because it's broken into 5 pieces. And my numerator, which is my top number, will be how many is shaded, and 2 is shaded. So when I want to break this down into unit fractions, decompose it into unit fractions, I'm going to take each piece and that becomes a fraction. So this would be 1/5 because again, I have 5 pieces and how many is shaded with just this one? 1/5. And then my next one will also be 1/5. So I decompose 2/5 into 1/5 plus 1/5. And remember from our adding fraction video, our denominators stay the same. We only add our numerators. So let's do another fraction and decompose it down to unit fractions. So let's do 4/6, and we're going to decompose it, break it apart into unit fractions. Anytime I'm doing unit fractions, my numerator will have to be a 1. My denominator does not change. So I have 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. Now remember, this equal sign means that both sides have the same amount. So this side has 4/6, and if I add 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, that side will also have 4/6. So that's breaking down or decomposing fractions into unit fractions. But then we can also decompose into different variety of ways. So we can take this same 4/6 and decompose it. And one way I can do that could be 2/6 plus 2/6. So again, you see how I just took my numerator and broke it apart into 2 plus 2, because 2 plus 2 equals 4, and my denominator stayed the same. I also can do 4/6 equals 2/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. Because again, I just took my 4, which is my numerator, and decomposed it, broke it apart into 2 plus 1 plus 1. My denominators never change. Let's do another one. I'm going to use this 4/6 again, but this time I'm going to decompose it into 3/6 plus 1/6. And again, I broke apart my 4 into 3 plus 1. My denominator doesn't change. But we can also decompose mixed numbers or improper fractions. So let's look at this fraction. This is called an improper fraction. IM means not, and proper means written correctly. So an improper fraction is not written correctly. And when I say correctly, your numerator should be greater than your denominator. But in this case, you see 11 is greater than 6. So that's telling me that I have more than one whole number in this fraction. But we're just going to decompose it. So again, my denominator stays the same. Doesn't change. My numerator is what I'm going to decompose or break apart. One way to get 11 is 5 plus 6. So 5, 6 plus 6, 6 gives me 11, 6. Or I can do 5, 6 plus 1, because we've learned now that anytime we have a fraction where the denominator and the numerator is the same number, it equals 1. But I can also do, let's do another one. I'm sorry, I put my hand right in the way. 11, 6 equals 7, 6 plus 4, 6. Again, we're decomposing the numerator, which is 11. 7 plus 4 equals 11. And my denominator doesn't change. So, I know you're waiting for the word of the video. The word of the video today is decompose. And we're using the math definition for decompose, which means to break apart. Not the science definition of decompose, which means to break down. So I hope you learned something today. I had so much fun making this video. Until next time, fourth graders.